Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys the first perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about an investigation that just came out last night. The NBA launches an investigation against into the Clippers signing of Kawhi Leonard. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to be on check out our Dreamerspro Podcast, which is linked in the description below. Be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro platform that we're launching in January, and also our website, Dreamerspro.com, that we're very excited to be launching in January, which is something we're really looking forward to next year. So be on the lookout for that. With that being said, let me just go ahead and get into the topic here. So, before I went to bed last night, I saw this story, and I said to myself, okay, I'll follow this story, and I'll follow this story in the morning. But man, before I get into the story, let me just say, man, Clippers fans, y'all have had a very, very rough last few months. I'm not even going front, man. It's been rough. It went from blowing that 3-1 lead in the playoffs to the Denver Nuggets, which was sort of the beginning of it all. Once they blew that 3-1 lead, I mean, that's when, it seemed like the basketball world started coming for the Clippers, right? Like everybody was hating on them and dissing them after blowing that lead. Then all of a sudden, Kawhi Leonard is being trashed in the NBA, like being trashed in the news almost every single day, right? A lot of the people that thought he was the man all of a sudden changed up on him. Even Max Kellerman, Max Kellerman, who was pumping him up all that year, Kawhi, blah, 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 blah. He changed his colors, he changed teams or whatever it is. People been coming at him crazy, the Shannon Sharps and all that. For a dude that doesn't even talk in the media, right? It's been crazy. It's been crazy. And then you think of all of the chatty patties out there. Y'all know what chatty patties are. Chatty patties are these people that, especially dudes, just go around, just talking. A lot of talking, gossiping, talking, a lot of talking, like, talkers, just, always got a lot to say. Then they lost Montrezl Harrell. Lost Montrezl Harrell to the Lakers. It was like, man, could it get any worse than that? Like, once they lost Montrezl, somebody that was there, part of the team, I think was it a year ago, 2 seasons ago, when they took the Golden State Warriors to like 6 games in the first round. They lost Montrezl Harrell to the Lakers to add insult to injury. Then just the pundits on, the general pundits on TV, man, Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, and everybody else basically just coming down on them. They're no longer contenders and all of this. And of course, you have the group that are very reactionary to this, like, fans that are responding to, how the team performs in the preseason, people getting up in a bunch. Oh my God, the season is over. And me sitting back watching all of this, saying to myself, like, man, how long have we been watching basketball? Like, how long? Like, since when did the preseason become a thing? Like, when did we start paying attention to the preseason to this point where things started, that people getting in their emotions to that level? And then on us, right? Because I talk about Kawhi Leonard a lot because he's my guy. That's my favorite player. People been hating on us for that, like, for real, because, they're like, why are you supporting this dude? Talk about somebody else, right? And it comes every day, right? But now is at the point where it's like, okay, it's kind of comical, like, because people feel like, okay, if I hate on him or if I say this to him, I say this to them, he gonna feel a certain way about it. People been hating on us since we had less than 1,000 subs, man. They did it when we had 1,000. They did it when we had 2,000. They did it when we had 3,000. They did it when we had 4,000. They went at 5,000, 6, and they're gonna keep doing it. What you've noticed is that we kept growing regardless, right? It doesn't faze me to the point where we're like, oh, okay, we're gonna hate on them. It literally doesn't faze. It's not gonna stop me. It's not gonna stop me from doing my thing. We're still gonna keep growing. So I embrace that. We embrace that. And these Clippers fans, y'all should embrace the hate. And this is just another story that came out last night that I'm gonna cover here. And they're now talking about Jerry West. We all know who Jerry West, one of the best, team builders of all time, NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP, 14-time All-Star. He's been on 10 all NBA teams, 4 all first NBA teams. Like, this guy, led the league in scoring, led the league in assists, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, greatest Lakers of all time. So the story broke yesterday, and I'm just going to read you some of the details. So the NBA is investigating some allegations. I'm reading this from ESPN.com that was made against the LA Clippers team and Jerry West, who was part of the recruiting process of Kawhi Leonard, and basically a gentleman named Johnny Wilkes. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Who was a person that claims to be close to Kawhi Leonard and his uncle, Kawhi Leonard's family, says he played a pivotal role in helping the Clippers acquire Kawhi Leonard because he had some sensitive information that could be useful to their recruitment process. And basically what they're saying is that because, he struck a deal with Jerry West and the Clippers saying, listen, if I help you get Kawhi Leonard, you're going to pay me. You guys will pay me $2.5 million. That's basically what it seemed to be. That seemed to be the agreement between the two parties. So the lawsuit was filed in the appellate court yesterday, and in the Clippers statement, they said the Clippers are fully cooperating with the NBA in this investigation, which is standard. When these type of allegations are made, they're providing the NBA with the evidence that these allegations are false, right? And the lawsuit is continuing on. And, a report said that, Jerry West spoke to TMZ Sports. He denies engaging in any improper conduct in the connection with signing Kawhi Leonard. And then Kawhi Leonard was questioned about it after the loss to the Utah Jazz in the preseason. He said, I think in his involvement, or he said, Leonard says Wills played no role in him deciding to sign with the Clippers. He says, not at all. He goes on to say, that had nothing to do with me. Nobody swayed me to go to the Clippers. He continues to say, I'm from LA. I grew up here my whole life. And then he said, and out here, people are trying to find any way to get some money. It probably won't be the last time. I know a lot of people out here, right? But this seems to be the investigation going on in the NBA right now. And it seems to be one of the top stories. And people are now saying that, well, according to this gentleman, who I don't know, first time I'm hearing about it, saying that there was some foul play, and he's allegedly owed some money. So the Clippers are now going through the process of trying to just give the NBA all of the information that they need so that they can, come to some kind of resolution to be able to close this case and find out exactly what happened. So when I read that story last night, obviously it's a developing story. And, I don't know much about it apart from what I just read. I don't know what happened. I don't know the details there. All I'm doing is simply reporting on this news. Now, if we come to find out that it is true what the allegations that this guy is making, Johnny Wilkes, that is true, I don't know what the repercussions are going to be, to be quite honest with you. I don't know if the Clippers are going to be fined. I don't know if the NBA will tell them, like, okay, you have to send Kawhi Leonard back to the Raps. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I have no idea really what's going to happen if this happens. I don't know if it's going to be a fine. I don't know what the details are. Maybe some of the viewers who have probably seen something like this happen before in the past, maybe you guys know what happens in a scenario like this, and maybe you guys can leave a comment in the comment section below about it, because I have no idea. So if you have an understanding of this type of case and you feel like you know what will happen given the past, then please leave a comment in the comment section and let us know what you think is going to happen. For me, I have no idea. I'm just reporting on the story. So, but to close to sort of conclude, I just think it's been a tough year, man. Like a tough last few months for Clippers fans, because God, like, damn, like, when will it end? When will it end? Like, it just seems like there's no end to it. Now, does this really matter in the long run? No, right? Because it's going to come to they're going to resolve it somehow, whether if it's true or if it's not true. Is it going to determine what happens in this season? No. So for me, I'm just doing my part by reporting on it and talking about it, and that's it. Now, regarding Clippers fans, let me just say this. Some of y'all don't need to be this emotional about everything, right? Preseason games are preseason games, like, number one. Number two, if you're judging your team on a day-to-day basis, not just Clippers, but sports fans in general, if you're judging your team, especially in an 82 or 72 game season, if you're judging your team from a game-to-game basis, you're never going to have a peaceful life, right? Literally, look at your team in quarters, after 25 games, after 50 games, after 60 games, then you make an assessment. I know it's hard because this is an emotionally driven kind of thing, but it's like people are putting way too much energy into it, like way too much energy into it. And it's not really necessary because, to be quite honest with you, no matter how you feel, it's not going to change anything. If you feel a certain way, if you feel good, it's not going to change anything. So I would just say some people just need to relax and let things play out. And most of this is out of your hands, right? So that's the first thing I want to say. And man, keep your head up because these haters are everywhere. And they're not just coming at the Clippers. They're coming at everybody. Everybody is being hated on. What I would say to you guys is keep it pushing. That's what we're doing. We are unfazed by it. Like, if you want to hate on me, if you want to hate on us, go ahead. That's on you, man. Because for every person that hates, there's always somebody that's going to congratulate and support. So that's the way I see it. It's either you decide to focus on the people not feeling your team or feeling your favorite player, or you focus on the people that are. For me, I'm focusing on the people that are. So that's all I got to say, man. Have a very peaceful weekend and keep it and keep your blood pressure down. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.